Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 16th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery here across the lower 48 states. You can see that weak system moving through British Columbia here, bringing some low clouds to western portions of BC, Washington, Oregon this morning. Most of that should burn off during the day today. Taking a look down here, this tropical system moved across Texas. It brought some beneficial rains to Texas as well. This is going to continue to track all the way across and enhance the monsoon moisture here in the very active monsoon season they've been having there across the desert Southwest. So taking a look here a little bit closer, you can see those low clouds to the Puget Sound down towards Portland, Oregon, Washington coast. A lot of this should burn off during the day today. Can see the Four Corners fire out here for Idaho, producing quite a bit of smoke. I think that's the Moose Fire out here still smoldering, and the White River Fire still producing some smoke near Lake Wenatchee there. But we're doing okay fire-wise so far. It'll be interesting to see what this monsoon moisture activity does as far as fire starts coming up here. Now, looking at the Pacific Northwest, heat advisories are in effect. Excessive heat warnings, cascades below 2,000 feet eastern of Washington, and those extend all the way down through the California valleys as well. Now, here's looking at Spokane, Washington. They do a good job with their graphics here. Summer heat returns. Practice your heat safety. You can see another graphic there. But temperatures up into the hundreds are coming here, folks, for portions of eastern Washington, especially the Columbia Basin. You can see Seattle, Tacoma calling for their excessive heat warning below 2,000 feet for the Cascades and heat advisory as well. I like looking at these graphics here, and to get back to the lower 48, you can always click this button here, and you can click on any individual area. You can go into Portland, and you can get a detailed forecast discussion that the forecasters put out there. So a really good tool. You can click anywhere on the USA and get all kinds of detailed information. But anyway, back to the forecast. Pacific Northwest, generally no thunderstorms today, but tomorrow you can see that threat start to increase through Oregon here, bringing some lightning with it. Hopefully no new fire starts. Thursday, the same thing, but I think this may be extended a little bit further north here on Thursday. We'll continue to watch that. This is SeaTac yesterday, 6 degrees above average, 84. Nice warm day across the region here. We're going to be a little bit chillier today, probably low 80s. I shouldn't even mention the word chilly. We're just not going to be quite as warm today. The temperature record here on the 18th is 88. We're forecast to be about 90. So it looks like we have a good chance at beating that daily record high on August 18th, Thursday, that it was set back in 1991. This is for Pasco, Washington. You can see that they got to 97 yesterday. That's above average of 91. But check this out. The normal high on August 1st is 94. By the end of August, it's 87. The cool down is starting here, but still we have some warm weather to go through. We could even set a record high on the 18th for Pasco. It's 106. We're going to be right around there for the high temperature. So potential daily highs could fall in some areas out there. Checking out the European yesterday afternoon's run here. Good model agreement, of course, in the short term with the ridge building here, bringing us our warm days. Then some marine influence really gets into the west side of the Cascades here. It will be felt on the east portions too as they cool down a little bit. And then we have that trough kind of hanging out through the weekend here. And then the ridge starts to rebuild here in the European here as we go through later on into August towards the 9 and 10 day period. Pretty substantial ridge showing there too. So maybe some more heat is on our way here for the end of August. We've had some pretty good model agreement here showing this ridge in the extended. Now taking a look at the lightning forecast coming up here, let's just scroll ahead to Wednesday here. As you can see this activity start to come across the Oregon Cascades. Even a little bit of a signal there across the Washington Cascades on Wednesday afternoon. But then as we go into Thursday, you can see this extend further north all the way into British Columbia here. So we'll see. I mean, some of these could just be dry thunderstorms as well. There's not a lot of precipitation showing up with these storms, and those are definite fire makers if that occurs. Now, taking a look here, this kind of shows the monsoon moisture, precipitable water here. This is the anomaly. You can see this start to creep up out of the southwest here and move across Oregon Wednesday afternoon, going into Thursday afternoon. Now you see it extend all the way up into British Columbia here before it finally starts to get kicked out of our region here. The European has kind of it was showing a better upper level system here, kicking this out on the morning of Friday, bringing better convective potential here with it. But we cannot rule out a lowland thunderstorm, mainly Seattle north, I would think at this time, but probably western BC is the best chance of it is now. But for the most part, this monsoon moisture looks like it's going to be mainly a higher elevation threat, but you can't rule out anything yet in the lowlands. We'll continue to watch that. European yesterday afternoon, total precipitation. I'm just going to fly through this here. This is 10-day totals here. And you can just see kind of typical summertime pattern for the Pacific Northwest. We don't get much precipitation here. You got to go north to get it, or you got to go towards the monsoon down towards the southwest. I mean, you can see Phoenix is going to have far more precipitation than Seattle or Portland will for this next 10-day period. And that's not that abnormal, especially during the summertime. So looking here, GFS mean, Ensemble mean here. Let's go short term. You can see that ridge build. Again, this is an average of all 30 GFS Ensemble members here. 500 millibars, 18,000 feet. Shows that trough cooling us down as we go through the weekend here. But now watch as we go through the extended. Shows something similar to what the European is showing here with this ridge building along the west coast of North America here, and bringing us some heat through the end of August. So we'll continue to watch that, but there is a signal for it. So the confidence is increasing a tiny bit at this point, but we're still kind of far out there right now. Now looking at the NAM 12-kilometer resolution here, and we're just going to kind of run through this here. Wednesday afternoon, you can see that instability building into Oregon, Washington. And then as we go into Thursday, you can kind of see that instability increase through Thursday afternoon. That's when that main thunderstorm threat would extend all the way up, probably towards into BC at this point. So that kind of shows the instability here as we go through the 6-hour precip here on the NAM. You can see some of this activity Wednesday afternoon across the Oregon Cascades, but there's going to be thunderstorms going on here. And as you can see, not much precipitation, dangerous for fire starts. So you can see that precipitation kind of bubbling up here through Friday afternoon through the Cascades and BC, the higher terrain as well. And so this kind of shows you there's going to be thunderstorms around, but there's not going to be much precipitation associated with it. Checking this out, Seattle-Tacoma. This is the European Ensemble. Check out Thursday. This would break the all-time daily record by 4 degrees. So it looks like that one's probably going to fall unless we have some drastic changes here in the forecast. But then you can see the cool down as we go through the weekend. Very nice days coming up here, just a little above average. Probably some nice glorious afternoon sunshine as well. Look at Tri-Cities, 106 on Thursday. That's their all-time daily record high. They have a chance to tie or maybe even break it. We'll continue to watch that coming up here. Here's the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. You can see this bullseye on eastern Oregon here across Pacific Northwest. Looks like we're going to stay warm as we move through August. This is valid August 23rd to August 29th here. Now, 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. As we saw, we don't get much precipitation at this time of year anyway here in the Pacific Northwest, and you can see a signal for below average here as we go through the end of August. Here's the La Nina forecast that came out yesterday. This is just kind of showing, for those of you who missed it a few days ago when I did an update, by the time we get to February, we're at 50-50 basically between neutral and La Nina. But even if we move out of La Nina towards neutral conditions, it's not like a switch is going to be flipped at that point. We're still probably going to be dealing with La Nina type conditions even as we go in through March. But then you can see that we're probably going to be moving out of La Nina conditions as we go into springtime. So maybe we'll get a warmer spring this year or next year versus this year coming up. And you can kind of see the models here showing the dip down as we drop into a more of a La Nina pattern here as we go through fall and on in through winter. And then we start to warm up that Central Pacific here as we go towards next March and April. So yeah, I'm a little bit cooler today than yesterday for Seattle, Portland, but that's going to change as we get into tomorrow and Thursday as we start to flirt with that 90-degree mark here, especially on Thursday. Very hot eastern Washington. There's some excessive heat warnings out there, a lot of heat advisories around the area. So I guess enjoy the summer weather while it's here, because we're only a couple of months away from October. We're only 3 months away from November, which is our rainiest point of the season here across the Pacific Northwest. So get out there and enjoy that, and try to remember this and store this away in your memory when fall comes, because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be wishing for these nice warm summer days. So at least enjoy them while they're here, or try to. So anyway, yeah, like, subscribe, leave some comments below. Let me know what you guys are seeing out there. And we'll talk about these thunderstorms, especially as we get a little closer with the high resolution models. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow.